Heather, what words would you use? Hanging by a thread is too strong a word. That's too dramatic. What would be the right words to use to describe where we are right now in college football relative to trying to get games in with the coronavirus out there wreaking the havoc that it is?
Tipping point. This certainly has the potential to snowball. At every hour today, it seems like there's some more news. Now, Arizona State has been canceled. Herm Edwards has been diagnosed with a positive COVID-19 test. This is not going away. That being said, it's not over yet in college football either. Everyone that I have spoken to remains very determined to have this season determine a national champion on January 11th. There's also an obvious realization that might not happen, that there might have to be change to the college football playoff and its system this year. But they continue to take it 1 week at a time and see what happens. And I guess the question is not will it snowball, but how much will it snowball?
You know, I'm hearing this for the first time. As you were just reporting that about Herman, Bubba, our board operator, whispered it or mentioned it in my ear that Herm Edwards had just tested positive. So this is obviously news that is just coming across. Herm Edwards is one of my favorite people in the world. He's a dear friend. I want to send my best wishes to Herman and his family. He is one of the healthiest people you will ever meet in your life. You will never meet a man of his age. He's probably in his mid to late 60s, I think, Herman. You will never meet a man. There is not a person his age in better shape than Herman is, and there's every reason to believe that he will be fine. Do you know, Heather, if he's asymptomatic? I'm hearing all this for the first time. 66 years old. Go ahead, Heather. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I don't, Greeny. I don't know the details of it. The school just announced that, it was literally right before I hopped on the call with you. So information's still coming out about that.
So we'll get that. He's 66 years old. He's one of the best people you'll ever meet in your entire life. And again, there's every reason to believe that he will be just fine. So this is a significant story. Again, Herman, I'll call him right after we wrap up here, and I'll see if I can get any further information. But anyway, Heather, let's go back to where this was going to begin before we got this news. And that is that I'm going to commend you, because for days now I have been all over you on this show and on Get Up saying, Heather, you've got to convince these people that they need to be willing to be flexible with their dates to fill the college football playoff and to play these semifinals and to play the championship game. There is no reason they can't have some flexibility. And Heather, it feels to me like you finally got it done.
Well, that's why in future years I will be the czar of college football and every game will be played at the Rose Bowl. But look, this week is when these conversations got to a different level, is what my understanding is. I had heard whispers about this possibility on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Bob Bowlesby pretty much came out and said on the radio what a lot of other people within the CFP were trying to tiptoe around. And I think that there's certainly an acknowledgement that there needs to be flexibility, but at the same time, everyone I have spoken to within the past 24 hours or whatever has said nothing is imminent. And I spoke to Bob Bowlesby earlier this morning, and he downplayed his comments, and he said that they are determined to get these games played on schedule unless there is something that necessitates and forces the change.
Gee, I wonder what that something might be. Greeny and Heather Dinich with you here on ESPN Radio. I don't mean to be cheeky about it, but the something is that you've got coaches now testing positive and all of these games not getting played, and a little flexibility goes a long way. Let's bring our friend Paul Feinbaum in to the conversation as well on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Paul, I don't know how much of this you're hearing, but you were with us this morning as Heather reported that there is at least some open-mindedness to the possibility of changing around dates at the end of all of this. I just wonder, as one who covers college football as closely as you do, particularly in the Southeast, what is your perspective on where we sit right now relative to the college football season?
Greeny, they have to be flexible because right now this thing is out of control. What I mean by this thing, that's the virus, and I'm not playing Dr. Fauci on the Greeny show, but all you have to do is just look at the numbers from November 1st. They've doubled it. They're probably going to triple. And that affects everything in life, including college football. And we've always said college football is the most vulnerable of all the sports that we follow and love because you have no control over anyone, really. We heard coaches talk about being in a bubble, but that's no longer applicable. And now, this is the second coach that we're aware of this week. Sam Pittman from Arkansas tested positive. Now Herman, and the games are just going by the wayside. And I know Heather made a point in her column. I didn't hear the very beginning of this conversation, but when you cancel or postpone a game today, you may be postponing or canceling it next week as well because of all this contact tracing, and it's problematic. And I feel like we're back to the end of July, early August, when we weren't sure the college football season would start. Now, I'm not sure it's going to finish.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.